I know that some of you already know Jesse. He has joined us on the PubTalk stage before wearing his Elemental Technology CTO hat. Tonight, he joins us to talk about building a successful tech company and reinvesting in the broader community. Jesse Rosenzweig is a Colorado native, but a longtime Oregonian. He is the co-founder and former CTO of Elemental Technologies, which received investment at the 2007 Bend Venture Conference. Elemental Technologies, now AWS Elemental, is a software company headquartered in Portland, owned by Amazon Web Services, that specializes in multi-screen video compression and streaming technology. That technology is used by content creators or broadcasters to compress, format, and deliver live and on-demand video content to millions of viewers. Jesse currently lives with his family in Bend, enjoying his passions in the outdoors, and continues to be an active investor, entrepreneur, and technology enthusiast. Jesse, I suppose you are really the true testament to those that wonder how BBC investing in startups in Central Oregon actually kind of does come back around, right? So this is very exciting. Okay, I'm going to let you take it away.
All right.
Jesse Rosenzweig.
Thanks, Shannon. Thank you. Can I move this? I've got some slides. I know it's kind of faux pas to have slides, but there's some fun ones in this one. Thanks, Shannon, so much. My wife really loves your emceeing, and so do I. It's really hard to do, so it's a skill that I don't have, so thank you so much. And EDCO, thanks so much for having me. Round of applause for the EDCO. It's really hard work to do this, and yeah, it's a really special thing we do here in Bend. So so like Shannon said, my name is Jesse Rosenzweig. I was a co-founder and CTO of Elemental Technologies. We founded it with three of us founders, Brian Lewis and Sam Blackman. And it was 2006 when we started. Who streams video now at their house, on a computer? Some people aren't raising their hands. It's really surprising. Okay, yeah, everybody. It used to not be that easy, if anybody remembers before that. So we kind of take it for granted that it's really easy now. I'd like to say we are a big part of that. So we also have Don Nelke in the house. He was one of our first employees. I just want to call out. So thanks for coming, Don. He lives here too in Bend, so he can vouch for anything I say, I think. Anyway, so I grew up in Colorado in a small ski town, Steamboat Springs, and when I wasn't out on the rivers or in the snow playing, I was playing on my computer and coding. I was one of the only kids doing that. But I really enjoyed it. I kind of embraced technology and computer software, and went to school in Boulder and met my wife, Holly, who's also here tonight. Thanks for coming. She and I moved to Portland about 20 years ago, and we started our lives together there. Holly had a successful career in her degree, which was PhD in medical research. I didn't practice that as much. Anyway. So we started Pixelworks, and Sam Blackman and Brian Lewis, we all met there. Brian Lewis is an amazing person. He's the most intelligent guy you probably ever met. He's a humbling, intelligent person. I thought I was hot shit coming out of school and just like sailed through computer science and love computers, and like you meet Brian, he's just like blows you away. Just could always anticipate challenges technically, and was amazing at solving them too. And Sam Blackman, some of you may have known him. He tragically died in 2017 of a cardiac arrest. He was an amazing leader, just an amazing person. You'd follow him off a cliff if he said to do that, and it was going to be cool. And so yeah, we were a really great team. So the three of us started it. Yeah, this is actually a picture of Sam pitching at Bend Venture Conference. So we had an amazing demo. So we had this idea that there was going to need to be video converted between the sources and these destinations. And at the time, there was these iPod Nanos and iPods that had screens on them. That's pretty much there's a few other devices out there, but we could tell that in the future, there's going to be devices at different resolutions, different capabilities, and it was going to be challenging to get all of that to work for broadcasters and people that actually made content. That was their kind of They want to focus on the content. They don't want to focus on all this complexity about streaming. And so around that time, NVIDIA, which is the GPU technology in computers and cars now, and I'm sure many people have heard of NVIDIA. It was a hot stock. It was also for Bitcoin mining. But NVIDIA came out with a GPU that was fully programmable. And we could take that GPU and do video processing on it in a speed that was 10 times faster than a regular CPU. So we had this amazing demo where you'd start up iTunes, and back then if you want to convert a DVD to work on your iPod, you'd start up iTunes and you'd click this button and you'd wait. It'd say like 2 hours to go to transcode this video. And then we could pull up our little demo and go boom, and it would go and it'd be done. Like 10 seconds. It was just so super compelling. I still get goosebumps thinking about how awesome that was. And it was super compelling to show to investors, and so we needed investment to build an actual product and a company out of this. So we went to Oregon Angel Fund was our first kind of helpers. The three of us had no business idea. We had no business building a business. We didn't know what we were doing. And the Oregon Angel Fund was really helpful in helping us get to that next level and teaching us what we didn't know. But around the same time, Ben Venture Conference, I think it was the second one, that was holding a contest for startups, and we were able to pitch to them. And we showed them the demo. Sam had a super polished demo. I think some of you were in the room were there. And we won. We won Ben Venture Conference that year. So yes, thank you. Thank you. More importantly, yes, if anybody was an investor in the room, I'm happy to have bought you a beer tonight. We then took that same story to Alliance of Angels in Seattle. We were able to land that award, which is another set of money. We also had a lot of great friends and family that wanted to participate, so they jumped in on this note. And NVIDIA also became an investor as well. One of the highlights of my career was we got in this meeting with NVIDIA, and we had been working in this garage basically for a year and trying to build this demo and just on our own. And we got this meeting with NVIDIA and weren't sure what to expect. And we go down there with our demo, and we're setting up and we're getting ready. Sam's practicing, and in walks Jensen Huang, who's the CEO of NVIDIA. At the time, we were just like starstruck. Like, this guy it's as if Bill Gates walked in here, for some of us anyway. Bill Gates is like, it's like, holy crap, Jensen's here. What do we, this is insane. And it was just like a dream come true. We show him the demo, and he's blown away. Everybody in the room are like looking at us. He turns to this guy, and ends up being the lead engineer of one of his teams, and he says, "I thought you said this was impossible." And the guy sheepishly kind of acknowledged that we did something pretty awesome. So I can talk more about that guy later. But anyway, the next thing he said was, what can we do for you guys? Like, how can we get you started? Like, this is amazing. You're doing exactly what we wanted to do with this chip, and want you to do something cool, and so how can we help? So we decided we wanted to build a consumer product that converted video for your iPod, a real product, and NVIDIA kind of wanted to fund that and to invest in this note. And so, let me see next. Yeah, he actually said this. We're going to save lives with this thing. He was so excited. So when we launched Bada Boom is the name of the media converter. When we launched this, we wanted to make some commercials. And so any Ben Venture Conference investors in the room will be happy to know we did not hire any professional actors or producers or writers for this commercial, but I want to give you an example of what we came up with.
Man, I've got to get this movie on my iPod. It's going to take 4 hours. I've got to miss my flight.
Allow me to assist you, madam. I too like watching movies on my iPod. Like this one time I saw these DVD players fall off the truck, and I got it all on tape. When the cops wanted proof, I had to put it on my iPod, and fast. Fortunately, I just opened up the file and bada boom, chose the iPod preset, hit the stop button, and bada boom, it's done.
Yeah, who needs professional actors, right? So Melissa Freeman, who maybe some of you know, was the star of that commercial. She's a really good friend of ours. She worked for Oregon Community Foundation for a long time. Now he works for Oregon Venture Fund. If you see her, please do not tell her she's the Bada Boom girl. So anyway, we were doing pretty good on this Bada Boom thing. It was consumer facing, pretty small margins. We weren't really excited about making this product. Well, I'm sorry. We were excited about making the product, but we weren't. That wasn't our dream. Our dream was to provide a server product that would go in a data center into a broadcaster, like a news broadcaster or a content provider like an HBO or a cable operator. So they have big data centers and racks of equipment, and we wanted to be a box in that big data center, processing all that video for the internet and doing all that hard stuff for them. So we needed more money for that, so we were able to successfully get a round of funding from a Series A round in 2008, June of 2008, from Voyager Capital out of Seattle, who we became really great friends with, and is a great relationship for the whole tour here, and General Catalyst also. But anybody remember what happened after June in 2008? Yeah. So just like the Millennium Falcon flying away from an exploding Death Star, we got $7 million right before the economic crash of 2008. So we were great. We had a great vehicle. We were in our Millennium Falcon, and we were flying, but our customers had no more money, no more budget, no more interest in really disrupting their world to add us to their product line. So we were building our product, and we did get a few customers in a couple industries that are recession-proof. Anybody have any ideas? Government, churches, one more, adult content, porn. Porn is recession-proof. And porn has a lot of video. They want to transcode that really fast, get it out there, right? So we had these three industries. This was literally on some of our slides for our board meeting as our pie chart of the 3 different industries that we had going here for our server product. The adult content, for some reason we called it the blue segment. Don't ask me why, I'm not sure. But so we had these 3 segments, and we were doing pretty well in each one, but you couldn't really reference one customer to the other industry, right? So we didn't really have that beachhead customer, that, flagship that we could really talk about. So we were doing okay, but this wasn't paying the bills. NVIDIA, the other thing we learned is that you come up with this big idea, especially you, this guy that said it was impossible at NVIDIA, now he's mad. So he starts to get his team going. And NVIDIA and Adobe started kind of cutting us out of the consumer world. They started building their own thing, put their own video technology inside the chip. And so it was rough. That was rough news. We weren't making it. This economy was terrible. We weren't able to sell into this business that we wanted to. And we had about 6 or 7 months of runway left. And runway was something we always talked about, right, Don? All of our employees knew how long we had to live, and it was a really challenging time. And so I remember vividly there was this holiday party right after this board meeting, and me and Sam and Brian walked into this room full of employees and their spouses, and just this huge, heavy feeling like that we weren't going to make it. We weren't going to make it to the next year, next holiday party. This was our last holiday party. So sort of a depressing holiday party for us, but we made it through that night. And then the next day, Sam and I and Brian got in a room and said, Sam said, we really need to work on giving back to the community. If we're going to go down, I want us to go down with some giving back, some time that we gave back. So he convinced us that we should all take the entire company and go work at the Oregon Food Bank the next day. So we all went to work at the Oregon Food Bank. We took half a day off, and it was an amazing experience. It was this bonding experience. We were in the doldrums of our company, our startup. We were pretty sure it was the end. There was no more investment coming. It was hard to get VC money at that time. And so, yeah, we just had this bonding moment, and it was sort of transformational. It was this experience that, yes, this is a good idea for a lot of reasons. This was sort of the beginning of our culture building for community investment. And then a miracle happened in 2010. Oh no, our sound. Hold on. Go back 2 slides. Okay. Sorry, Matt. That was us. Yeah, now go forward. Yeah, one more.
All this time I said I didn't care, but I do care. I care so much.
Do you want to blow out the candle?
Yes.
Go on. Go.
Oh, it did not just do that.
It did.
Honey. Oh, who's ready for the first day of the rest of their lives?
All right, so Phil Dunphy from Modern Family summed it up pretty well. Once the iPad came out, there was immense excitement around it, not only for consumers, but the executives of every media and entertainment company in the country wanted to get their content on that iPad as fast as possible. The porn guys were ready to do that. The churches were ready to do that, but the media and entertainment folks were just sort of caught flat-footed. We literally get a call from HBO saying that, hey, our engineers told us it's going to take a year for us to get our content on that iPad for this project we called HBO Go, and we really want to do that. Is there anything? We heard you guys have some sort of solution that might work. And so we did some math and did some testing, and we decided, yeah, if you buy 7 of our boxes, you'll be able to transcode your entire library in about 2 months. So they said, deal, done. HBO Go was launched, super successful for HBO, and obviously for us, we had a non-porn customer we could talk about. We had ABC and NBC and CBS and all the news people and all the sports people coming to us and companies coming to us and wanting to do a deal. And so yeah, a lot of the iPad apps at that time in the beginning were powered by Elemental, so it was exciting times. We also built a live streaming solution, so live is a lot harder than kind of converting files. The other pinnacle of our career was the 2012 Olympics in London was run by the BBC. BBC wanted to do an all-digital Olympics. They wanted 5 or 6 camera angles per event on the iPad, on the TV, to 70 countries. And guess who powered that? Elemental. So, yeah, we successfully did that. And we started winning World Cup deals and lots of other live streaming, NBA, NHL. And it was just, we were killing it, really. So it was a really fun time. And so in 2014, I don't know if anybody remembers these protests in San Francisco. I don't know if anybody remembers those. There was tech companies taking bus loads of people out of San Francisco and taking them to their jobs and then taking them back in the evening. And a lot of the residents of San Francisco thought that was BS. They were blocking the traffic. They were just sort of, and it wasn't just about the buses. It was this gentrification. It was this idea that there was all these tech people living amongst this community, but they weren't living with the community. They weren't giving anything back to it. So Sam again brought us all in a room and said, you guys, I do not want to be represented. I do not want to be remembered for not giving anything back. And the success we're having, it's the time to double down on this. So we founded an Elemental Community Investment Program and put a whole program around it. We focused on environment, hunger, and education at first. After the acquisition, there was also housing was added. So we had these 4 areas. We would qualify organizations who wanted to be part of it. So it was a good experience for both the organizations as well as the volunteers. We had volunteer time off, which at the time was kind of a new idea. I know it's more and more common these days. But it was sort of our way of doubling down on this. We would also do a lot of metrics, and we found some amazing stats, like 88% of our employees thought this was a super important thing that we'd be doing. 25% of every person applying said that they were applying. One of the reasons was because of the community investment program. So it was one of those things that it became part of the culture, but we didn't really plan on it, and it was just this thing that became really valuable to the organization. Also, we had about 30 organizations, and then at the time we had offices in London and Singapore and Brazil. And what was really amazing is to see how those offices started snowballing and doing their own investment in their own communities and sort of following the lead there, especially with the program we built. And we also did this awesome thing. Our marketing team came up with this idea of 4K for charity. So 4K TVs came out, Ultra HD, and this coincided with a big trade show. Hello? Yeah, a big trade show. And anybody who's been at a trade show, you usually stand around a lot, you eat a lot, you drink a lot, you stay up late. So what'd be fun would be a 4K run in the morning. Everybody can do that. 4K is pretty easy. And we'd raise money for a local nonprofit. And the first one was in Amsterdam. And we were pretty small. The first one was pretty small. Raised some money, got everybody out, but it took off like wildfire. I don't know if Ian works for Dolby. I don't know if you were. Never did the run. You didn't do the run. Okay, well, you need to. Dolby was a big partner. This run was awesome. And it was so fun, and then people would dress up for it and come out for it. And we ended up doing another one and another one and another one. We did it in Vegas, because we go to trade shows in Vegas. And so similar philosophy, like we're going to this place, we should give back to that community and try to raise some money. The 4K for Charity has now raised over $1.5 million for local charities in all these locations. And it was a brilliant idea, and 4K goes with the TVs, I'm assuming you got that. I'm not going to spend too much time on the acquisition. I think that's a whole other PubTalk if you're interested. But Amazon acquired us in 2015. Actually, it was more like an investment. It was sort of wasn't an exit at all. It was like, holy crap! Now we're going from a pretty big company of looking at about $100 million to whatever huge thing Amazon can do with us and what we can do for them. But what I did want to highlight was this is a slide that we presented to the employees at the acquisition time. And there's 3 goals that we came up with, and Sam drove a lot of these for sure. But and the first one was basically to take over the world of video processing. Second one was evangelize the business value of community investment to the rest of Amazon. Like for us, it's kind of that moment, it like gives me goosebumps, right? Like Amazon wanted to learn from us and how to scale and take what we did and scale it across all of Amazon across the world. So they're still working on it, but they are working on it and did take a lot of our ideas and are implementing them. So it's very rewarding. And Portland does have about 5 teams that are now working there. Okay. Shortly after this, after the acquisition, it was a couple years after, didn't seem short. My wife and I were at dinner with Melissa Freeman, actually, and got a call that Sam had collapsed in front of friends, family at a wedding. And you can imagine just the emotion, not sure what happened. The next 24 hours would become probably the hardest time of my life, much less his family, of course, but it was a really, really intense situation. We had 450 people in this family of Elemental, not to mention the partners and customers and everybody. And when he died, it was just like this huge weight on top of all of us about how are we going to live these values that Sam put in place. And obviously, he built a bigger organization than himself, but it's just like this huge, and it's still hard to talk about, obviously. But I know a lot of you in this room knew Sam, and Matt even put a little montage together that I'd like to see again. But yeah, it's a very, very impactful thing for us, for the community. We got people from all over the world writing in and giving us words of encouragement. And I'm going to be like Sam. I'm going to continue this idea of giving back, and just the values that he embodied was inspiring to many, many people everywhere. About a year later, I moved to Bend with my wife and family. We wanted to kind of get back to a place where we give our kids the same kind of experience we did when we grew up. I was from Central Idaho, and so we wanted to kind of give the kids an experience being in the outdoors, just growing up as a kid with amazing amenities like we have here. And so yeah, the first thing I did when I landed here was went to EDCO and said, hey, I'm interested in plugging into the community, figuring out what's going on here, tech community. Met several entrepreneurs through that, and I just love just mentoring entrepreneurs. Hopefully, I didn't ruin anything for you over there, Brian. But yes, I'm always interested in helping the community from the business perspective. I'm an investor now in Ben Venture Conference. Third time. I agree. Ben Venture Conference this year was amazing. There's no way we would have won anymore. Like the companies coming in now are just they got a lot of revenue. They got great entrepreneurs, got great founders, and so that's been really rewarding too. Cascade Seed Fund, I'm an investor in. I want to plug Field Day. I'm a mentor for Field Day. Sam's brother Eli has started that company and essentially took all of what we learned, everything I've been talking about, wrapped it into software as a service, so anybody can add this feature to their culture, right? Anybody can invest. It allows nonprofits to come to the platform, allows you to do volunteer work. And then finally, Oregon Land Watch. My family and I really want to invest time and energy and money into environmental causes, and there's a lot of great ones here. I really love Central Oregon Land Watch and what we stand for. I'm on the board there. So, yeah, and I'm doing a little bit of FIRST robotics for the kids once in a while. So hopefully this has been an inspirational talk and you've learned something. Happy to continue the conversation.
Thank you so much.
Oh, if we have time for one more video.
Yeah, we do.
We
do
have one
time.
more Bada Boom commercial, if anybody's interested in seeing that.
Yes, honey, I'm working on it right now. I know he looks so cute when he dribbles. Look, I'm having problems getting the files to open on my computer. Yes, I know. The new video camera was worth the investment. Honey, I've gotta go.
Hey, buddy, cute kid. Looks like you need some professional help here. I, too, use my new HD video camera to take some videos of this judge, shall we say, in a compromising position. But when I went to edit it, I couldn't open my file. So I just opened it up and bada boom. Chose the preset for HD video, pressed the stop button, and hey, bada boom, it's done.
Wow. I think the pinky ring is such a nice touch.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's authentic. Wow, thank you so much. How about another round of applause for our friend Jesse? This is great. Really great. Such a wild ride that you've been on.
It was.
I want to go back to that moment where like the iPod and then HBO, like tell me how you felt when that happened. Like
Yeah,
show me what your face looked like.
Ooh, baby. No, it was a pretty amazing, we had gone, so we started in 2006, and it took until 2010 before we felt like we were going to make it. So I guess one of the takeaways was, thankfully my wife and my family was super patient, and we were all patient enough to see that vision through. It can take a long time, and so it wasn't until that point where we felt like we were actually going to get off the ground. So 4 years.
And it was quick then at that point, like it just started to move fast, right?
It didn't feel quick at the time, but now you look back, and it wasn't that long between there and 2015 was the acquisition. So, 5 years to acquisition. That was from where we felt like we actually had a company. That's pretty fast.
And you don't work you're not still in the company working?
I'm not.
No,
Not anymore. No.
And so how did you escape?
Cold
he just
turkey.
snuck out the door. He snuck out the back. He was like, it's my time.
Peace out. No, I did want to, I finished. So if anybody uses Amazon Web Services, there's a video media, the media services. Anybody can use them. Anybody that's starting a company or personal want to stream. I wanted to kind of finish those out before I left, and it was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a good time for Holly too.
Wow, what a ride. Okay, questions for Jesse. Anybody have a question for Jesse? Yes. How many subsequent rounds after your Series A did you have to raise?
Yeah, so after the series, we did 4. We did 3 after the Series A, and unfortunately, the very last one was literally like months before the acquisition happened. So we did dilute ourselves a little bit more than we had to. But we were growing internationally was one of the things. We were building a cloud service, and that took more money. One of the investors was investment arm of Disney, which really helped get us into ESPN and all the Disney-owned properties. So yeah, they were always really strategic investors. Norwest Ventures out of the Bay Area too was one of the investors. But yeah, shout out to Voyager Capital again. They were just with us the whole time and really were a really great partner. Anybody looking at investment, your investors are going to be you're going to be married to them for at least 10 years. Expect that. So pick good ones.
Yeah, that's good advice. Okay, yes. Sure.
So, in 2008, when you thought that investment would be hard to come by, when was your next round of investment, and did that gap hold you back?
Okay, so in 2008, you thought investment would be hard to come by. What was the gap? Did it hold you back?
That's a good question. I believe, I'm looking at Don, I don't know if he remembers. 2013, I want to say, was the next round. So we did pretty well. Like we were able to pay the bills. We were actually, net positive on a lot of this. When we want to start scaling even bigger, then we needed inventory too. And we tried to stay away from inventory as long as we could, but eventually we did need more to scale at that level.
Okay, so looking back wasn't a long time, but when you were in it, it was eternity. Yes.
Yeah.
I love this. Okay, so in terms of your team, building a team of over 400 people, what was the biggest pitfall, and then what was the biggest success? And this is a people-focused question. It's a great question.
That's a challenging question. I would say that our hiring process this is on the good side, the thing we did right. I think we always very transparent. When we hired somebody, we would be very clear about what their role was going to be, and we wanted to make sure they were bought into the vision. We couldn't pay market salaries for a long time, till 2011 or so. Don knows this too. He's laughing and shaking his head, or nodding his head. We couldn't pay market salaries, so we had to sell people on the idea that this was going to be a cool thing to do. It's a cool place to work, a great culture, and that's, I think, something we did really, really well. And even through the Amazon acquisition, it was really evident because Amazon's not known as a great place to work and really, rewarding sometimes. But we had to keep that going, and we were able to do that through the acquisition as well. And that's all about the team and the people that were involved. To answer your other question, I think it's really hard. I'm not sure what we did wrong necessarily. Challenges. we were always challenged with diversity and getting women to be included in the hiring process and just getting them in the door. We put a lot of work into that, and that's a whole other PubTalk. But we never did get the diversity up to what we wanted it to be. We did try.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers your question. Okay.
All the way in the back.
Hey, Peter. Yes.
How did you deal with NVIDIA being an investor in your company and then creating a competing product?
Yeah, that was super stressful. There was also a super stressful time when Amazon was one side of Amazon Prime, which we were selling to as a customer, and the other side was the acquisition. AWS was the acquisition, and we didn't know how much they were talking. That's a whole other topic. But the NVIDIA one was similar in that, this guy, his also name was Sam. Sam Azar was the guy at NVIDIA, said it was impossible to do the video processing on CUDA, which is what we were doing. He started with his team and like just going to town and trying to take away that consumer market. And the way it worked out well because the consumer market was something we weren't really interested in anyway. And they ended up putting all that stuff in for consumers, and so you can convert DVDs really well. Also, it's the same technology if you do the stream to your TV, like what's it called, the mirror, your phone, you can go to the TV. It's the same technology it's used for that. So we were able to sort of part ways amicably, and NVIDIA, I think actually we were the best investment NVIDIA ever made. So they were incentivized to keep us happy too, as long as we were sort of like on the enterprise side of things.
Wild. Okay, anybody else? Anybody else have a question for Jesse? So are you like retired now? I mean, you're just kind of like...
I'm in between careers.
Yeah, do you think you're gonna go in again? I mean, what?
I don't know if I'd have the ambition for another startup, but if somebody's looking for kind of a mentor or somebody on the board or somebody that can help with high-level air cover for your company, I'd be super interested in that.
Oh, okay. All right. He's on the market. Okay. Last chance. Any questions for Jesse? This was just really fantastic. Thank you so much. And I don't know if you know this, but we have a tradition at PubTalk. You get a giant stein.
Ooh,
you can bring it
going.
back anytime. We will fill it with good dog gravy. I'm just kidding. We will fill it with
some
any
THC
beer
in
that you we will fill it with beer or cider, or we could fill it with a couple bottles of wine. That's your choice. But
Awesome.
we're really appreciative. We're glad that you're
Yeah.
here. This was an awesome talk, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. I know you've got your hands in a lot of different things, so thank you for all that you're doing, and thanks for
you
the
too.
night.
Thank you.